Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Today, we're going to be doing a video on what I think needs to be changed for FIFA in terms of future prospects in the game and for people to have more fun in it. So if you guys hear the laundry in the background, I do apologize for that. This is only the real time that I can actually make this video and post it because I am going to be playing the Foot Champs games for you guys on stream. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll probably be live on twitch.tv/inceptionxx for all of that. But so in regards to this game, right? I think a lot of changes need to be done. We're not going to get into the in-depth gameplay stuff because I promised you guys in a couple videos back that I wasn't going to do that anymore. I've already mentioned certain things like defensive AI being really effective and the finishing on 1v1s just being really awful. But other than that, those are just the small snippets, right? I'm not going to get into depth with the gameplay stuff. What I want to do today is I want to get in depth with more the game modes and FIFA 19 as a game mode itself, right? So right now, with the inclusion of Foot Rivals, right? Foot Rivals was a very, very good inclusion in the game, right? The reason why I like Foot Rivals so much is because it reminds me so much of Overwatch, right? And the reason why it's like Overwatch is because you're basically playing games for a rank rather than a record, right? So I just like that the skill rating is more of a relevant thing. So if you lose a game that you really feel like you didn't deserve, at least you're still progressing and gaining points for it. If you tie a game, you still get around 400 skill points as well. If you win a game, you probably get 600 up to 900 depending on how much you actually win the game. So I think Foot Rivals is probably the best competitive game mode to exist in any video game I've seen, because even in CSGO, the Global Elite, if you lose skill rating and there's no progression. You're not really moving forward. But in FIFA, even if you lose, you still gain 100 skill points, right? Now, of course, if you lose 6 games in a row, you're only going to get 100 skill points each, and that's going to equate to basically not almost, but over tying a game and winning maybe a 1-0 game, right? So I think there's an incredible balance with it, because right now in Foot Rivals, every single game is competitive. You're basically playing Foot Champs, but in Foot Rivals, and I'm totally okay with that if it's its own competitive game mode. Now, the problem that I have for this year, right, is that Foot Champs still exists, right? I think that Foot Rivals should have replaced Foot Champs, because I think Foot Rivals is way better than Foot Champs. The concept of it just makes more sense, right? Because in Foot Champs, the concept of playing 30 games and then losing one game that you really feel like you didn't deserve to lose, or just in general frustration, right? Even if the opponent was better than you, the game mode itself, in my opinion, really sucks, right? Now, a lot of people, I tweeted this out, a video like this, in terms of what I think about this, right? And a lot of people were saying, oh, would you rather play Division Rivals for less rewards and more games? And my answer to that is obviously the rewards would be better on Foot Rivals if Foot Champs were to be removed in general, right? Because obviously you have to play more games. You're always facing people of your skill rating, whereas in Foot Champs, you're only facing people who basically hit the 2,000 Foot Champs rank, and then it's based off of form. So basically, your form, if you have 8 games in a row of wins, you'll face someone of similar caliber, right? And I just think that Foot Champs is a nuisance to this game, right? Because I feel like Foot Champs should have been taken out, and I think something like the online tournament mode of the World Cup should have been added to the game. And I'll show you guys an example, right? So right now I've already opened up FIFA 18. Just going to open up my face cam for you guys here. I opened up FIFA 18, right? This game mode is the best gameplay game mode to exist ever, right? So this would be your casual game mode, because there's no casual game modes right now in FIFA 19. Everything is competitive. People are going to get really tired of this game really quickly because you guys are forcing the competitive aspect to your players, right? So with the online tournaments, the concept of it is fantastic, right? So basically, right, you play 3 games. You can see that I'm in the current stage, I'm in the round of 16, right? I think this is me qualifying. So I guess after playing 3 games, which I didn't even do on this account, my cousins played on this account, the Foot Ultimate Team and all that stuff, but that's irrelevant. This account right here, right, is on the round of 16 because I've already played the 3 games. The way that it works in the World Cup mode is that you basically qualify to go to the round of 16, right? And then you go to the round, you go to quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the finals, right? I feel like this game mode right here would be the best casual game mode to exist, because the 3 games that you play in the beginning, everything in this is open matchmaking. So that's perfect, right? It's no skill rating, and people say, oh, it's because you want easier opponents. In Fortnite, right? they were asking their community, what do you guys think about skilled matchmaking for Fortnite? And people said, we really, really don't want it. Even players who weren't good at the game, it's a large majority, because obviously there's people that want it, but it's the large majority that really matters, right? And they were saying how they didn't want it because they didn't want to play sweaty games every single game, right? And they did it perfectly. They balanced where you have really bad players, mid-tier players, top players, and then the elite players, right? If you guys watch streamers who play Fortnite, when they come up against sweaty people every single game, that's the first thing that they're mentioning, right? Oh, we're coming up against a lot of sweaty people. The fun in video games, right, is a good player having fun destroying the bad player. But then the bad player has fun learning the game mechanics and getting better to match the good player, right? That's the balance of video games that's important, right? That's what Fortnite has. People who are bad at that game still enjoy the game, even though they're getting destroyed, because the game is fun, right? You lose a game, you get back into another one, and you try again, and you try to get better at the game. In Fortnite, there's a progression system where the more you play, the more you get better at building. Your shooting accuracy is probably better, and your reaction time gets better, right? In FIFA, I feel like that concept doesn't really exist, especially with the current gameplay, right? And I just feel like it's okay if the gameplay is as it is for Division Rivals, because like I said, if you lose, there's still a progression system towards it, right? But in Foot Champs, it just feels like a nuisance to the game, and I know I'm going to keep repeating myself in regards to that. But in the World Cup tournament mode, right, you play 3 games. You play the 3 games to qualify. I think, honestly, a win and a tie is enough to qualify for the round of 16, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's pretty brilliant, to be honest, because that's perfect for everybody, right? You can still play the 3rd game and win it and have fun with different teams and use different players like you cannot do right now in Division Rivals or in Foot Champs. And Foot Draft is the only game mode that you have to be casual, and you have to pay $15K for it. And this is perfect, right? Because it's open matchmaking. You play these 3 games, you have fun, you qualify, you may win or lose, doesn't matter. And then you go to the round of 16 and you go all the way to the finals. And this is the best casual game mode that can exist in this game. For one, people didn't like this game mode. I loved this game mode, especially since I had a meta team. That was like the biggest reason. But I loved this game mode because the tournament mode was fun to play because it was casual, right? I didn't feel like I was playing a competitive game every single game. It's good for streaming content. It's good for the casual player to play all day and have fun, even if they lose matches. And I think that's really, really important in FIFA, right? So in FIFA 19 right now, right, a suggestion that I made on Twitter is I feel like the record at the top left should not show, or it's not that it should not show, but a setting option should be given to the player to show their division rival rank, or their this is how exactly I'd want it. It shows their current division rival rank, and then next to it, it would be last week's division rival rank. I think that would be less stressful and better for the players if they showed that rank instead of the record. But don't make that a permanent thing, but give that as an option to the players, right? So that way, when streamers and when players play the game, it's not about the record that they have, because I've seen a lot of people in my chat always say, oh, my record is this, I'm having a bad time. And my mentality towards FIFA is just do your best and have as much possible fun as you can with it. You're still going to rage because, especially with the game mechanics this year, it's a very, very weird type of game, right? But I just feel like the record is basically like the kill-death ratio in Call of Duty. It ruins the game, right? Because the kill-death ratio in Call of Duty, when people focused on that, they would camp, they would just try to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kills, have 0 deaths, and then there's people in their teams that have like 40 kills, 20 deaths with good, playing the game mode and stuff. And I feel like that is a nuisance to the game again, right? The record. So I think that they should have the current rank that you have for division rivals on the top left, and then your last week's ranks, right? So people, so you can see like, oh, this is what I finished last week. This is what I want to finish this week, right? So I think that's better. I don't like Foot Champs at all. I am willing to play it as a content creator this year because I do want to grow my stream, but I don't like the game mode whatsoever. I don't like having to play a game and then having a thing at the back of my mind that if I lose, it's going to be such a hindrance to the full performance of what I'm going to get, right? I just think that it's done perfectly in Division Rivals. Division Rivals is the better version of the competitive than it is in Foot Champs. That's in my opinion. A lot of people who replied to the tweet when I mentioned it would say stuff like, what was some things that people said? So some people said, once people make comparisons to real life, I'm sorry, but this is just me, and this is me being honest with you guys and being transparent. I will block you because in FIFA, I know that they say it's a FIFA simulator, but it's really, really far off of a real life football simulator. Really, really far off. PES is a better football simulator than FIFA is because it actually feels like a football game, right? I personally like the gameplay in PES right now as we speak, but obviously the thing about PES is that it doesn't have the community so that you can grow yourself as a content creator, right? I would love to play the game, although I will admit that the PES menu stuff does not touch FIFA's. FIFA's menu stuff hands down completely destroys PES's menu stuff. No questions asked, because the way that the formations are made, the tactics are made, the player choices you can make, like in the first 2 or 3 days of me playing FIFA a lot, I have a pretty decent team from playing games, not doing the transfer market stuff and not like trading up and making profit and all that stuff. And I think that PES is lacking in that, right? But their gameplay people need to give a shot because it's honestly fantastic when you don't even need to have great players. You need to have decent players. If I had Lacazette and my team right now has like Lacazette, Roberto Firmino, Mane, Willian. If I had that in PES, my team would play fantastically well, and the play styles and everything is just gorgeous. I love the gameplay in their game, right? Because of defensive AI is not as overpowered. They have a little bit of the AI, but they have a really good balance of having a little bit of it, but not too much of it. Because if you predict that he's going to go left, you go and predict to the left. And I don't know, the gameplay is just much better in PES in my opinion. But we're talking about the menu stuff right now, right? Again, I think that this tournament mode should be added into the game as the casual game mode, right? Have open matchmaking so that I face people who are doing basically the round of 16 and whatever, and in the rounds you can make that ranked if you want. Like if I'm in quarterfinals, I face only people from the quarterfinals. You can do that if you want, but I think that it would be significantly better if it was just open matchmaking for the whole thing so that people can actually try out different cards and have fun with the game, right? That's just my opinion. So that's what I feel about in regards to Foot Champions, Foot Rivals. I like Foot Drafts. Foot Drafts is still fine as it is. I like that as a game mode. It should honestly be Foot Rivals, the online tournaments from the World Cup mode format, and Foot Drafts, in my opinion. Other things that I wanted to mention was the responses to some of the people. A lot of really, really positive responses from you guys, and I really do appreciate it. It's nice that, I don't know, I never really got this when I made these types of videos in the past, so it does feel really nice as well. So here's the thing, right? So here's what people say, right? So why? Just don't play Weekend League if you don't like it. You can always just play Division Rivals. I like the concept of Weekend League, being able to compare your performance to the previous week with 30 games. It's perfect. Just gives more more options to play. I agree that Gold Cup should come back. I don't agree with that whatsoever, because I think that we already have way too much competitive in this game. I think that the weekdays are already the competitive feature, and the weekends are also competitive because Foot Rivals is still live during Foot Champs. So I honestly, I don't agree with that whatsoever, because we already have the competitive game mode. If you get 24 wins and you're looking forward to the next weekend, this game is not the type of game to basically be perfect, right? This game is not perfect. You're going to have weekends where you're honestly probably going to finish like Gold 1, and then you're going to get one weekend where you're going to finish top 100. It's that type of game, right? So I really, really don't agree with that whatsoever. But I respect your opinion. I just don't think that having competitive for the entire week is an ideal situation. I really think that they need to bring back something like the online tournament mode into the actual game mode to FIFA, so that people can actually have fun with the game. Because right now, a lot of people are leaving the game because the game is too competitive, and they want to try out different players, have fun, and try to face people who are doing the same thing and having fun trying out different players. Because the thing is, right, is that you would get judged mad hard if you had a full meta team in these types of game modes right here. You could still do it, but you would get judged for it, right? But I just think that having fun is the most important thing in a football simulator, especially with how FIFA is every single year, right? So let me see what else is here. So I would also bring back bronze and silver tournaments for Foot. It is used to it used to be fun making silver skill teams and trying to win the cup. I agree with that, right? I think that bronze and silver players are completely irrelevant in this game. You only use them really for the SBCs if you require certain silver and bronze players, right? They're completely irrelevant in FIFA, and I feel like, let me just go back to the face cam here, I feel like they need to be used more, right? Even in the online tournaments game mode, there should be challenges set to the side basically telling, hey, you know, if you want to use a bronze team, if you use a full bronze team, bench reserves and the starting 11 so that, you know, they get that going, you can get this as a potential reward because they know that you're going to be at a disadvantage, but the disadvantage needs to be worth it. And again, like I always reiterate, I don't think that the record should be showed on the main screen. And if you want it showed on the main screen, it should be a setting so that you can turn it off and just focus on having fun. Because here's an example, right? I'm going to show you guys an example. Well, I can't show you because my Xbox is not connected right now. But Overwatch, you don't know how much wins and losses you have. People who stream Overwatch, they don't know how many wins and losses they have because they never check it, right? They never go to their actual settings and be like, oh, I got like 2,000 wins and, 1,500 losses, but I'm ranked top 500. The top 500 rank is more relevant than the record that they actually have. And I feel like that's brilliant. There's no win-loss ratio of any sorts on Overwatch. Even when you play Quick Match, which also records your record, they don't show it on the main screen. You lose a game, and you're like, well, I lost my skill ratings, or you lose a game at Quick Match, well, I lost a game, but that was fun. Let me go into another game. I just feel like that makes games better in my personal opinion. But this is pretty much the longer version of what I posted on Twitter, so I appreciate you guys watching and listening to my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of all of this. I just feel like people are going to get really tired of this game really quickly because I feel like it's too competitive-oriented, and there needs to be a game mode honestly like the online tournament to make this game better. Division rivals, online tournament, and drafts. I feel like this game would be fantastic. And then they can keep single matches too, even though people barely play those. The matchmaking for that is really awful in my opinion. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, please drop a thumbs up on it. Definitely helps out the channel a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.